One great show leads to another, right here on TNN.
Someone once called racing hours of boredom punctuated by seconds of stark terror. It's the same for these pit crews. Their seconds come so swiftly. 1.5 tons of raging power with their number on it soon comes a-calling. 15 seconds to change tires, adjust the suspension, fuel the car. 1 second more, you're an also-ran. A second less, you're a winner. Most have been doing this for years. So many tires changed, so many tanks topped, so many close calls. It's all second nature, and yet they stand and wait in nervous anticipation. So much riding on their abilities. Their racing's over the wall gang. Hello, I'm Dave Bowman. The noise is a bit different here. It's the laughter of a party, the sounds of celebration. This is the Copenhagen Skoal All-Pro Banquet in Charlotte, North Carolina, where they recognize the best at each position of a NASCAR pit crew. At this event, they sit and wait, just as nervously. Our hidden heroes.
This episode of Hidden Heroes is brought to you by Fram Oil and Air Filters, Bendix Brakes, and Autolite Spark Plugs and Wiring Cable, which are all quality products of Allied Signal.
They've traded their pit uniforms for coats and ties at this gathering, shined and polished to receive their fair due. Who better to recognize these men than Baseball Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson?
I know that my main job here tonight is to help honor not only the drivers, but the men behind the scenes, the men who have been selected by their peers as the best in the business. And I would have to say they're an all-star. Or in baseball, when we talk about being a pro's pro, I don't know how you can get any better.
One by one, they're named the best at each of 6 pit positions. A panel of 44 NASCAR car owners, drivers, and other mechanics, their peers. In all, there are 14 positions, but just 6 actually go over the wall and into that frenzied world of danger at each event. They are the over-the-wall gang, the crew chief, the tire changers, the jackman, the gas man, and the tire carrier. Who are these men, so often ignored, so essential to the sport? What makes them leap in front of and in between roaring machines? And why are they the best at what they do?
Brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
Logan Pass, Montana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Logan Pass means trailblazing, exploring the wilderness of Glacier National Park. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. An Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Guys, it just doesn't get any better than this.
Engine repairs are not cheap, but they may be preventable with Fram WearGuard oil filters, a leading consumer magazine rated Fram Best. So pay a few dollars now or a lot later.
You got a problem, son. You're sounding all the time. You're thinking the worst, but it's only your wires. What's that? Orange and ugly. I don't like that. That keeps us tight. That makes us last. That orange and ugly.
Gillette presents Strokes of Genius. Stroke 1, Atra Plus, Atra, and Track 2 razors for 69 cents or free with this coupon. Stroke 2, 6 blades for the price of 5 plus $1 back. Stroke 3. Nice. Discover the Gillette shave that's right for you.
America's watched Chevy S10 and Ford Ranger go head-to-head to see who's king of the hill in value. And America's finding Chevy has more standard horsepower, bigger base engine, and bigger cargo box. yet Chevy's priced less. Result? Chevy S10 sales are up, while Ford Ranger sales are sliding off. Make your switch to Chevy now with $750 cash back on selected S10 pickups.
That's today's Chevy truck.
The music goes round and round, and it comes out here when many of your favorite recording artists premiere their latest albums and perform some of their past hits, your favorites, on New Country. Weekdays on TNN.
Number 1 is Kirk Shelmerdine.
The crew chief of the year and number 1 front tire changer, Kirk Shelmerdine. 1987 national champion Dale Earnhardt's racing team. Just 30 years old, but for 10 years, he's called the shots. And for years before, he dreamed of it.
I always had interest in cars and hot rods and had raced motorcycles and things as a teenager and go-karts on the road courses that sports cars race on. And it seemed like a fun thing to do. And when I got through with school, I was looking for a challenge, and it kind of appealed as being something challenging and fun to do and not boring.
There's little worry of that. Being a crew chief of a major NASCAR team, it's a 7-day-a-week job.
You know, it's not all laying on the ground working underneath the cars. It's aerodynamics, it's science. There's all type of engineering technology that goes into the engines and the cars themselves. Politics to some extent. And dealing with the press and dealing with the fans and being a nice guy all the time. That's just comes along with it. It's just like another one of the tools in the toolbox. You know, it's just a thing we have to accept and do.
Come race day, Kirk Shelmerdine's role changes dramatically again.
As I was saying, once the race is underway, there's not a lot we can do directly to the car while it's going around the racetrack. What we can do is prepare for certain little changes we can make to the handling in particular on a pit stop. Each set of tires that goes on there, they all look the same, but they're all sometimes quite a bit different in terms of how they'll make the car drive. There's a lot of little tools we have that we're able to change on the pit stops that changes the car just a little bit in how it handles. We use feedback from Dale. I like at most tracks to get up high somewhere where we can watch the car go around the turns. You can get a lot of feel for what's going on just by watching. Again, Dale comment a little bit if it doesn't steer just right or whatever. And during the long races, we'll fool with the thing. We'll play with it back and forth just about all day, trying to find out what does work. And then in between that, also, we got to calculate gas mileage. We got to figure out how far you can run each time, tire wear, things like that. The other traffic, the cars that you're racing with at the time, sometimes that affects you. Different body styles, with just all the little things that affect what we have to do. And we just try to be as best prepared at the end of the race as we can.
Kirk's just a hard worker. You know, he's came up from the bottom and came up to being a crew chief, you know, and he's just got a lot of determination, and, you know, he likes to win good as I do, so we work good together.
A great part of Shelmerdine's job is to maintain constant contact with his driver through the radio.
Okay, all right, now we got the whole set on there and everything. There's a lot of debris all the way around the racetrack I need to pick up.
We really don't converse a whole lot. Most of the time during the slow periods, during the cautions, we can get a few sentences in. Dale concentrates so hard a lot of times we'll have to talk to him 2 or 3 times before he'll answer because he's just so focused in on what he's doing. We gotta get his attention every once in a while, but there's not a whole big long conversation the whole race. They're just little code words and things that we, with the shortest amount of time wasted, we can get the point across.
That green flag stop, was that a gas stop? Yeah, 4.
It's a grueling job, time-consuming and dangerous. Something that these men and their families simply live with.
I try not to think about it. It scares me, but I'm sure it does everyone involved, you know, that kind of has to stand back and watch. I'm sure it does everyone.
Kirk and Connie met 8 years ago at the first race she ever saw. They've been married 3 years.
It's hard on our relationship in a way, but yet it keeps the excitement in our marriage because we don't get bored with one another.
So there are, as there are with most of these men, two loves in their lives. The lady at home and the mistress at work. That temptress that takes them over the wall. The crew chief leading the way, an exquisite moment in time, and the risk that brings them back again.
The whole world is gone. There's nothing else to concentrate on except what you're doing. You can't hear anything. As far as I know, you don't breathe. And the car's coming in right before that. You got to watch the traffic. You got to be sure, A, that he's going to stop in the right place so you don't get run over. If he's going to overshoot the pit, you got to get out of the way, obviously. So there's a whole progression of little things you concentrate on, but right there when you're right in the middle of it, everything else is blotted out except for whatever we're working on. And it's only for a few seconds and it's gone.
Lafitte, Louisiana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Lafitte means flat-bottom boat racing and a Cajun feast that'll set your mouth on fire. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place, an Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Now, there's a place you can turn for help when all those unexpected jams pop up while working on your car. Call 1-800-637-1991 and ask for Secrets of a Master Mechanic. Designed for the do-it-yourselfer, this home video cassette takes you step by step through close-up instruction on how to cope with stripped nuts and broken bolts, frozen spark plugs, stuck oil filters, gaskets that won't fit, broken bleed screws, bad batteries, transmission leaks. 10 complete, fully demonstrated do-it-yourself repairs in all. And there's more. With this cassette offer, you'll also receive special bonus rebates on Fram, Bendix, and Autolite products. Secrets of a Master Mechanic. Available for $19.95. To order, call toll-free 1-800-637-1991 right now and ask for Secrets of a Master Mechanic VHS-1. Credit cards accepted.
Why do over 35 of the world's best engineered performance cars come with Goodyear Eagle street radials exclusively? A major reason is the Goodyear Eagle contact patch, where the car ultimately meets and responds to the road. So it's no coincidence that Goodyear Eagles are the overwhelming choice of the world's best engineered performance cars. Goodyear Eagles, because there really is a difference.
The number one team is no other than Dave Smith.
David Smith is the best Jackman in NASCAR, according to his peers. Like Shelmerdine, a vital member of the Earnhardt team. And like most all of them, a man who understands the risks involved.
You know, we don't have a roll bar around us. We don't have a helmet on, which would probably be a bad idea if we did have helmets on. You got a 3,500-pound automobile coming at you. Not only the car that you're working on, but all the other cars that are going by you. To put it in perspective, it's like running out in the middle of the Los Angeles freeway and helping a guy change his tire in 5 o'clock rush hour. There's just a couple of feet that separate us. Like the Jackman usually ends up being the furthest guy away from the car. Several times I felt more than just wind passing by my backside, especially tight tracks like Richmond, North Wilkesboro, short tracks. So there is a great risk, but we can't think about that. If you think about those things while you're out there, you can't do your job. You think about it maybe at 3 o'clock in the morning, you wake up and say, why do I do this?
He does it because he loves it. because it puts a good roof over his family's head. But for a family to exist, it takes added trust and understanding.
You know, when we got married, I knew that's what he did, and I knew he liked it, and I liked racing, so I said I think that helped.
The sacrifice of my family is heavy, and as he gets older, I want to do more. You know, he'll be playing ball and going to school, and I think about that a lot. That I want to be with him, but I'm going to miss some of that. It makes you think about it.
They're a religious family. Dave and Karen met at church. And it seems they've either been there or at the track ever since.
We go on Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night, and then Josh was in Awana's program at church on Thursday night for kids, so that's a real big part of our life.
So why does a good Christian, devoted to church and family, take a jack in hand and put life at risk every weekend?
There's no real explanation for it. It's not normal. I'm not a normal person. I don't think anybody in racing is your average on-the-street person.
Number 1 rear tire changer team, Will Lynn.
The rear tire changer on the All-Pro team is Will Lynn, the third over-the-wall gang selection from the Earnhardt organization. He's proud of his team, proud of their accomplishments, but hardly caught up in the dramatics of it all.
I'd like to say it was something special, but it's really nice. It's so routine to me and the people on our crew. We don't worry about, I don't worry what Kirk's doing with the front tire or David with the jack. It's so routine that nothing even comes in your mind. You're back over the wall before you even think about it, unless something goes wrong. And then when something goes wrong, it clicks into slow motion then. You know, you get 10 thumbs and it takes an eternity to finish, but you've done it so many times, and I guess that's one of the things that we have over the other teams, that we have, the people on our team have been together a minimum of 5 years.
And how did Will Lynn begin his career?
Going to races as a fan and stood at the fence too long, I guess. I always thought that people doing it were a different breed of people, and they are in a way, but I never really thought about what it took to do it. And hung around at a few races and talked to a few people that did it for a living and found out that it was, that I could do it if I tried, and went on from there.
Back home in Welcome, North Carolina, Will's wife, Sandy, and the children watch and wait each weekend now, knowing danger is as close as the next pit stop for Will.
Well, he's been hurt once. He was hurt in Riverside, broke his foot. And it bothers me when I watch it on TV, but he could get hurt just driving to work, a normal 9-to-5 job.
The injury came at Riverside when a car hit a jack on pit road and broke his foot.
And it never crossed my mind until we went back to Riverside in June. Daytona was fine. You know, it's right like it never happened. When we went back to Riverside, I had a few in the back of my mind, you know. After that first stop, I was okay. You're so caught up into the pit stop that you don't hear the cars going by or anything, and you know how close they are. You've seen them. And, you know, a car whizzs by you, and some people, it might mess their concentration up, but we're so into what we're doing that we don't even hear the cars go by. You can hear your heart beating, you can hear the car running, you can hear Dale in there revving the gas because he's ready to go. And all that comes into play then, but not until something goes wrong. If we go out there, make a stop, everybody does what he's supposed to do, you're back over that wall, and you just wait till they come around again to see if you beat everybody out.
And this threesome from the Earnhardt team usually does. And there may be a further reason for their success besides talent.
Harmony, a willingness to really work together closely, a choreography of bodies in actually one motion. It's 5, 6 different operations, but it's all for the one cause. And we keep stressing the word teamwork. You can't stress it enough. In any kind of job, in any kind of walk of life, anything you do, you cannot get away from the fact that you're going to have somebody else that you have to depend on.
They're as close as brothers, these Earnhardt men. They'd like each other a lot, and it shows.
You know, we don't go fishing on the weekends, and we fool with cars and see if we can do it better than the other guys that do the same thing. That's really what it all boils down to.
To Joe Amato, this isn't a quarter mile of road. To him, it's a battlefield. And to prepare for the fight, Joe's crew chief, Tim Richards, uses Fram oil filters that can stand up to engine-killing dirt and grit. Fram oil filters, for when the going gets tough.
Gillette presents Strokes of Genius. Stroke 1, Atra Plus, Atra, and Track 2 razors for 69 cents or free with this coupon. Stroke 2, 6 blades for the price of 5 plus $1 back. Stroke 3. Nice. Discover the Gillette shave that's right for you.
Hi, I'm Michael Martin Murphy. Writing songs is as American as the sun setting in the Southwest. But as a songwriter and performer, I know how tough it is to get into the music business. That's why I'm proud to be the guest artist of the 12th annual Kentucky Fried Chicken Amateur Songwriting Contest, co-sponsored by the Nashville Network. If you're one of 2 grand prize winners, Kentucky Fried Chicken will fly you to Nashville to join me in the studio when I record your song for distribution to radio stations all across the country. To enter, write a song with both music and lyrics that's up to 3.5 minutes long. Record your song on an audio cassette and send it with a written copy of the lyrics and a statement of originality to this address. There's no limit to the number of songs you can enter, but each song must be on a separate tape. Sorry, tapes cannot be returned. In October, the winners will be announced on Nashville Now, so be sure and watch. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
Who knows more about music trivia? Host Bill Anderson has the questions as studio contestants go for thousands of dollars in prizes on Fandango. Weekdays on TNN.
Number 1 tire carrier, Todd Parrott.
Todd Parrott is just 24 years old, the youngest member of those receiving the All-Pro Pit Crew honors. But he's been around the racing business every one of his 24 years. Father Buddy is a NASCAR crew chief, and Todd's first playgrounds were infields and parking lots.
You know how like at Darlington and Rockingham, underneath the paddock grandstands, there's sand and stuff. We'd make our own little racetracks, and we'd all have our own little race, and we'd all get down, and, you know, it was really neat.
There came a time, though, when Todd Parrott had a choice to make.
I worked with my dad part-time, and I worked in the motor room after high school. Also, I was playing golf, and I was pretty much into it, you know, as far as golf goes, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted it to be golf or auto racing.
Now he's the best tire carrier in the sport, probably because he handles those 80-pound tires with the same care and precision as his favorite putter.
I get really pumped up for pit stops, and I look over at one of them guys and I say, okay, guys, let's bust him one off, you know, and I just, when the car comes down pit road, I can't explain how excited and hyper I get. I mean, it's like I just can't wait to see that car so I can just jump out there in front of it and just go for it. I'm always there and get my front tire dropped off to Jimmy, make sure it's standing up, make sure it don't fall over, because it's very important. It's when he takes his tire off not to have to reach down on the ground and pick the tire back up, you know, because it's just that matter of time can really kill you. Then I run around the back of the jack and help John Dodson change the rear tire. He pulls his tire off, and me and John kind of got a unique way of working together. Me and him are just like, I guess, like a couple ballet dancers.
And the danger?
I feel like a bullfighter when I'm carrying them 2 tires and them cars are coming at me, and I just spin and do whatever I have to do. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
The number 1 gas man, no other than Henry Benfield.
If Todd Parrott is the fresh-faced golly gee member of this over-the-wall gang, then Henry Benfield is its codger. 31 years in this business. His fire lit by childhood heroes who raced at a tiny North Carolina track.
I was 13 years old when I first got into it. I did not have enough money to get in the gate. I had to thumb to Hickory racetracks. Come up in the pine trees up there. And I watched, let me just see here, Junior Johnson, Jimmy Pardue, Bob All Roberts, and Curtis Turner. Junior Johnson was always my idol.
Come 1971, his idol gave him a job, and Henry's been at it ever since, lugging that 95-pound can of gas over 1,000 walls for 12 years with Junior Johnson.
Well, basically, Henry just kind of started coming to racetracks and helping us out on race day, and Sauter is, you know, a handyman. He's been really a good friend of ours and did a great job for us.
I tried to catch that car before he would get stopped and have this fuel leading. Every drop or every ounce of gas counts in that car. There has been many races won on a fuel stop. If it's everybody does their job to the best of their ability, you know, I'd say 75% as it is time, you're going to come out of that winner.
In 17 years, Henry Benfield has seen it all. Now, things happen that make him pause and consider.
Fire never did bother me till I was in Talladega last year. And I said right then, boy, I don't know what the rest of people are just going to do, but I'm going to do something. I'm going to get me a fireproof suit, which I went to Mr. Beatty, Dick Beatty. And I told him that I thought it was a good idea if every gas man and every catch can man, anybody had anything to do with this gassing, had a fire suit.
Henry can also recall some lighter and more revealing moments. One happened 4th of July in Daytona.
I always help the rear tire man change his tire, you know. And I bent over, and the holes in my britches just exploded. And just there I was, boy. I just mooned everybody right in our pits.
That fire suit hangs proudly over Henry's favorite bar in Charlotte, North Carolina. And there are still evenings he will silently toast it. He'll be the first to tell you he's much handier with a gas can than with a mouthful of words. But perhaps he's still able to speak for the entire over-the-wall gang.
It is a highlight of my career. If I never do anything else, I have accomplished one main thing.
If the Earnhardts, the Wallaces, and the Johnsons are indeed the kings of their sport, then these men are their palace guards. Quiet and unseen most of the time, when they are called upon, they become as important as the driver or the car itself. They're the 1987 All-Pro team, the best on pit road. Hidden heroes of epic proportion. For Hidden Heroes, I'm Dave Bowman.
This episode of Hidden Heroes has been brought to you by Fram Oil and Air Filters, Bendix Brakes, and Autolite Spark Plugs and Wiring Cable, which are all quality products of Allied Signal.
Hi, friends. I'm Stonewall Jackson, and the country's yours for the asking on TNN. Stay with us.